to you guys what's going on. So in these instances, these alleged misrepresentations, let's call it that, all right?
Okay, so in today's video, we got to talk about Marcellus Wiley arrest, man. And this situation is getting crazy. And more stuff is coming out about the situation. This is why I didn't initially report on it. A couple of people left me comments talking about it, like, yo, are you going to report on it? And I just want to wait because I know he got arrested over the 4th of July weekend. I know that he wasn't going to see a judge right away. And I just want to wait a couple of days until we see what else was going to come out and get reported. So now we got more information from TMZ that Marcellus Wiley responded to his wife's divorce filing as she wins temporary restraining order. So as you can see, it's reported right here. It said Marcellus Wiley is calling his wife allegations against him flat out false, speaking out after Anne-Marie Wiley filed for divorce and obtained a temporary restraining order against him. The former NFL star took to X on Tuesday to address the accusations in Anne-Marie's divorce filing, writing, "I love my children with everything I am. My highest priority has always been protecting them and preserving the relationship they have with both of their parents." He added, "Because of the public allegations made against me by Anne-Marie, I have been forced to respond with evidence rather than emotion. More importantly, I owe it to my children to truthfully document what they and I have endured." Wiley claimed he's actually the victim, alleging Anne-Marie cursed his family with a voodoo spell, committed serious and damaging parenting failures, and that after she was kicked off the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills show, she lost her mind. He also says he never wanted his family struggles to become public, writing, "I never wanted my family issues and struggles to become public for any reason, including divorce leverage. But I unfortunately knew this day was inevitable." His statement comes after a judge granted Anne-Marie's request for a domestic violence temporary restraining order. Under the order, Wiley must have no contact with Anne-Marie, stay away from her and their 3 children, move out of the family's home, and for now, will have no visitation while Anne-Marie has temporary sole custody.
She calls the cops. She calls the cops on him because she alleged that the day before she called the cops, he poked her in the cheek, pokes her in the cheek, calls the cops, says that like she's fearing for his life. The cops asked their 7-year-old daughter, who was allegedly in the room, "Hey, did you see mom get poked in the cheek by dad?" Daughter's like, "I ain't seen nothing." Either way, the cops said that they found enough evidence that there was some sort of bodily harm that Marcellus, he ends up going to jail. Y'all know the vibes. If somebody gets called on domestic battery, domestic assault, domestic anything, somebody is going to jail. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember, that happened in Orlando, Florida, just a couple days ago, July 4th weekend. Where it gets interesting is like, after the cops were called for that incident, it was then found out that there was a rape allegation. Okay, that's Marcellus. But yo, that's not where the story stops. Because who the hell is Anne-Marie, his wife? Well, Anne-Marie is coming to fame of her own. How the hell did that happen? Anne-Marie in 2023 got cast on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I both know Anne-Marie and I know her replacement. Acho, how the hell you know her replacement? Because she only lasted 1 season. Okay, so Anne-Marie, she was adopted. She's currently on like a hunt to find her biological parents. Well, how do I know that? Because she took that hunt to Nigeria. Now, there was a video of Anne-Marie that has since been deleted, looking very familiar with this wealthy man in like this Nigerian club. It got sent to me privately because obviously I'm Nigerian. So my Nigerian friends are like, "Hey, ain't this Marcellus's wife?" I saw that video like a month and a half. I started doing my Googles. I was like, that's interesting. She looks far too familiar with the man that's not her husband, leaned over, smiling, keying. That's separate from the allegation incident. I just found that interesting. But remember, I saw them later to track meet, so I'm thinking, oh, it's all smiley in paradise. It wasn't all smiles in paradise. Anne-Marie was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She lasts a season. After the season, she gets kicked off. Again, who's Anne-Marie? Anne-Marie is a nurse anesthetist, not an anesthesiologist. The difference is a CRNA doesn't necessarily have to go to med school, so there's less schooling. Anesthesiologists can administer anesthesia by themselves. And a nurse anesthetist has to, in certain states, have an anesthesiologist kind of supervising them. That's the difference. Anne-Marie appears to have, as of late, come into some fame of her own, or wanted to come into fame of her own. Okay, here's what's interesting, though. In Anne-Marie's goodbye message, after finding out she wasn't going to be included in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she says, and I quote, this is a caption from an Instagram post, "What I am is a woman, a proud Black woman who is truly blessed with a wonderful, strong Black man as my husband, who lifts me and our 4 wonderful children up with so much love and positivity on the daily," she wrote. "Who is truly blessed with a wonderful, strong Black man as my husband, who lifts me up and our 4 wonderful children with so much positivity on the daily." It's interesting to me because Anne-Marie is coming to some fame of her own. Marcellus has had fame of his own. I worked with Marcellus 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 years, 240 shows a year. Marcellus, if y'all know, because I've had to argue with the man, can be very antagonizing, if you will. Difficult to argue with. Anne-Marie, she, in my experience, is equally volatile. Again, I ain't been in their rooms. I don't know what the hell did happen or didn't happen. I just know the allegations. What I do know is timelines. 2012, Anne-Marie alleges Marcellus raped her and tried to shoot it to a couple of her friends, alleges. 2014, they get married. I'm confused. 2012, Anne-Marie alleges Marcellus raped her, tried to shoot at a couple of her friends. 2014, they get married. 2024, not on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, says, you know, truly blessed, wonderful man is my husband who lifts up me and my 4 children. But the accusations state that Marcellus has a pattern of physical violence, verbal violence, emotional violence, financial abuse, and because of all the abuse, there are certain gaps and lapses in her memory. It's a tragic situation, not just for the adults, but really for their 4 children. Marcellus Wiley Jr. met Young Buck. That's Marcellus's son. The other 2 daughters, I've been to their house, people. I've been to their house. A tragic situation for all parties involved.
Marcellus Wiley and his arrest down in Florida. I'm very skeptical of the story. How did this guy get arrested for putting his finger on the cheek of his wife in some sort of argument? She claimed Marcellus her in 2012 while he was intoxicated and tried to sleep with 2 of her friends the same year. My contention would be that if that is true, if he flirted with, it's like she never forgot that, and that's always been in her back pocket. If his narrative is true, and if he's been falsely accused, he's been sleeping with the enemy the entire time, and unaware and or naive. A finger to the cheek, and you burn this man down to the ground? That's tough. But men are idiots. Holy cow. Is this world rigged against men? You can call the police, say, yesterday morning, my husband threatened me and poked me in the face, and now I want you to arrest him and take him off to jail. Headlines can go out. Marcellus Wiley arrested for domestic battery. Look at that picture now. That's a look like, oh, so this is how they got me.
So overall, that's a crazy situation, man. I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below. We'd love to get your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next video, and we out, guys. Peace.